Welcome back to the Drew Wolfer YouTube channel. I'm a familiar face, hopefully, if you're here. And there's another familiar face right over here to my left. I guess it's your right, my left. It's AJ Brockman with Sparkswap. You may know him for EMP. I want to say one thing, actually, three things really quick, because I just told AJ nothing exceeds like excess. They already have 6 million TVL on Sparkswap right now. They have $1 million in trading volume on Sparkswap right now. They are the sixth most liquid coin with about $2.5 million worth of liquidity on Pulse Chain right now. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce AJ. I'm going to let him tell it because nobody can tell it better than AJ does. I'm going to let him introduce himself, bring you all the good sentiment, and let you know what he's been doing and building in this market. And we actually have another AMA. We're going to give you a teaser in this, by the way. So spoiler alert on that. Drew's the king of the spoilers. And we're going to give you a teaser in this video, but we will have a secondary AMA. This will be, I think, his third or fourth AMA on my channel after this. So that AMA will be about a new launch that will be coming in the future. So without further ado, let's let AJ introduce himself and all of his projects and companies, because no one can do it like him.
United States-based FTC laws, I'm announcing that this is a paid AMA. This was paid via a stablecoin cryptocurrency, and this video should not be construed as, nor am I representing or marketing it as, an advertisement or endorsement for the client or company in the video. Drew Wolfer has not received any native tokens, NFTs, or financial instruments tied to this company. Drew Wolfer has no ownership stake, equity, or investment in this company at the time of filming. This is not financial advice, nor an endorsement or advertisement for investment in the business in this video. We can provide referral links at our own discretion, but are not required to. This is a pre-recorded disclaimer, and if anything is not factual or has changed from this pre-recorded disclaimer, it will be addressed in the video. The full disclaimer is in the description box of this video, so please do your own research and make your own informed.
Right on. Thanks, brother. Very happy to be here, Drew. Always love you and the channel, brother. And yeah, happy to be back, man. We're becoming a familiar face for sure, brother. So my name is AJ Brockman. I'm fully doxxed. I've been in the crypto space now for almost 10 years, 10 years plus actually. And so lots of experience. Obviously, love crypto, and we started the original project, EMP, which is a tomb fork that we are now transitioning, which again, Drew said we may have a spoiler alert at the end of this, but that was a major success. And, obviously we were impacted by the bear market, but we continued building. I mean, that is the number one thing. We never give up. We never, disappear. We're fully transparent. We do our own AMAs, twice a week, and we keep our community in the loop. And so, the next step in that journey is Sparkswap, and we always wanted to have a project on Pulse. And the really cool part is, even though it's a sister project to EMP, it actually makes our ecosystem stronger together, and we do that by funneling revenue and not just Ponzonomics. None of our projects are Ponzonomics. They are real yield, real DeFi, and real revenue that funnels back into what we call the EMP mothership. So we're here to talk about Sparkswap today. Like Drew said, we have some amazing numbers already. We've only been around about 5 months, but we've been killing it over on Pulse Chain. And yeah, man, we have some alpha and some other updates to give too. So yeah, happy to be here, Drew.
Yeah, it's always good to have you on the channel, man. And I'm looking forward to the third AMA. And basically, we'll call it an AMA series. So yeah, let's get into what Sparkswap is. Let's give them kind of an update. Like you said, so Sparkswap has been live for about 5 months, and in my opinion, to have that type of a TVL is actually pretty substantial in the competitive market that you're in right now, right? With the decentralized finance institutions, the DEXs, the swaps, all the pools, the yield farming, the staking, and stuff like that. Yours is a little bit, let's say, unique because it is on Pulse Chain, and you do have your own token and your own pools, and there's a bunch of different ways that people can stake on your platform, and there's a bunch of different pools that they can earn in. So what are some of these pools and farms? Let's give them like some of the top rated ones, the ones with the higher ROIs, the more degen plays, and then let's talk about the more sustainable, maybe potentially lower yield ones, and let's kind of give them an update on when we first had the very first AMA. Was like right after you had launched, and the ROIs or the APRs were pretty high. How have those fared in this market? Right, that was one thing I really wanted to ask. Is like, have those ROIs or APRs gone down? Are they going down at a steady rate? Have they stayed the same? Is the volume kind of like allowing it to stay up at those APRs? And what are the plans for that?
Yeah, brother, great question. So again, when we first came on, we were operating as an AMM where we hadn't even become our own DEX yet. So what happened in that time, we are now our own actual DEX. So not only are we have farms that are rehypothecated for Pulse X, which is the main DEX of Pulse Chain, but now the majority of our farms are our actual own LP that we host. So that is a major, major difference. And because of that, we're able to get massive swap fees based on the volume. So again, our swap fees are the industry standard 0.3%. But we with almost $1 million a day in volume, like you said at the top of the show, that is a ton of real revenue coming back to the protocol. And a few things that make us really different and unique, and then we'll talk about APR, um, is the Sparkler. So the Sparkler is a staking contract where you can actually stake your Spark rather than selling it. And by doing this, you actually become an owner of the DEX. So you get a portion of the revenue given back to you. So the most profitable is doing the longest stake, which is the longest stake, which is um, uh, 10 years. But in that 10 years, you're able to earn multiples of what you would if you were to sell it. So,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
think you might be on. We had a Sparkswap. That's actually not the right one. That was another one that's actually not even business
Yeah, I was
anymore.
wondering
Yeah,
because I was like trying to like find the
yeah.
actual staking pools. Is it
Yeah, so it's
Sparkswap
sparkswap.xyz. Yep.
dot XYZ? Is this somebody that like tried to basically like scam people and
Yeah,
act like
so
they're you?
they're not a phishing site, but they were around literally like in 2018, and
Got it.
they were on I think some chain that isn't even live anymore. So they're
Yeah, I was
gone.
wondering about that because I was like looking and like I was looking at the pools and I was like, there's no pools.
Yeah, totally, brother. Yeah, so this is
All
the
right,
real
here we go.
deal.
Here's our
Yeah,
pools
man,
now.
this is it. So, yeah, man. So, and the pools. So we have actually transitioned away from pools. We so just to give a little more up background. Pools are really important in the beginning when
Mhm.
you want to attract TVL. But single staking pools, they really don't do anything for the protocol. So when we, in terms of like yield. So when we transitioned to our own decks, we actually removed the pools, and so now we're only working with farms because again, it's about providing liquidity and having an actual purpose of those farms to facilitate trades. Because
Got it.
again, the more liquidity, the less price impact on the swaps. So yeah, yeah,
Now I've
yeah,
got the right stuff up,
yeah,
dude.
man, you're
I like
golden, bro. Yeah, you're good, man.
I was like
Yeah.
getting so confused. Everybody's probably like, why does Drew look like so confused? Because I'm like trying to find the pools.
Yeah,
My
man.
bad,
No, so
everybody.
that's it, bro. That's the background. And so let's talk
Man,
about
Spark PLS is
yeah.
still up at 145.
Yes,
Spark
brother.
Die is up at 161 still. So
Yeah.
there's significant enough volume to keep these APRs higher at this point, huh?
100%, bro. So again, the
That's
APRs,
impressive,
yeah,
man.
yeah, they're still super attractive, and I mean, even when we started, APRs were around 350, maybe
Yep.
some of the top ones were 4. So to
Yeah.
have the APR only go down, a little bit is pretty a pretty great accomplishment, and we've been
Dude,
able to
yeah.
do that with the healthy spark price because, if the reward token stays healthy in terms of price, then the APRs are healthy. So
Yep.
that's been a huge win for us. And again, a lot of it is because of Sparkler giving another utility to the reward token rather than just selling it. So super bullish. And even one of those farms is a stable token farm that's paying about 60% APR. So the
Really?
DAI, yeah, the DAI SDAI is super profitable. And again, that's beneficial to our protocol because the S DAI is the token that we really use for our bridging. So S DAI or Spark DAI or synthetic DAI, whatever you want to call it, is a fully collateralized stable token that we use in the protocol for our bridge. So the bridge has also been a major product market fit for us. We
Mhm.
are one of the only bridges from BNB network or Binance Smart Chain to Pulse. And as far as I know, we're the only Arbitrum to Pulse bridge. And so even with that, we've been doing $100,000 plus a day in bridge volume. And again, those bridge fees, they also go to Sparkler and the protocol rather than the developer's pocket. So yeah,
Yeah. Dude, it pays to be early. It pays to be early. The fact that you're what did you say? Was it was Optimism or did you say Arbitrum?
Arbitrum. So we're the number,
Arbitrum.
yeah,
So
first one from
Arbitrum
Arbitrum.
to Pulse your base what we think and what we can probably verify that is that you're the only bridge from those two chains. That's wild. And
Yeah.
that you're one of the only ones from BSC to Pulse. That's insane, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
crazy.
And let me give you even one more metric that's pretty insane. So recently, Richard Hart announced that the native Ethereum to Pulse bridge was going to be feeless. So
Mhm.
he removed the fees completely. Well, because Ethereum gas fees are so high, even though we have a 0.5% fee on our bridge, which is industry standard, we're able to beat the price of a free bridge just because of the gas fees.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
again, man, if you're bridging, less than 5 or 10 grand, the gas fees will eat you alive. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's another pretty incredible metric for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, if people are bridging from Ethereum over here to Pulse Chain, it's more advantageous if they're bridging less than 5 to 10 grand to do it on Sparkswap's solution, correct?
100%, bro. Again, our gas
Dude,
fees
that's nuts.
from ARB and BNB are, a couple of cents. So yeah,
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
that's nuts that you're beating the gas fees of Ethereum. That's like one of the main things that like it's one of the main issues with Ethereum is the whole gas fee thing. The more that people use the chain and the higher the token price goes now, the more that, those gas fees are going to go up. So I mean, they got to fix that, man. But
For
it's
sure,
good
bro.
for you at
Yeah.
this point that they
Yeah.
haven't.
Well, and no doubt, brother. And again, that's the whole deal with Pulse Chain. Love him or hate him. Richard Hart is a very polarizing character, and
Yeah.
admittedly, there really isn't a lot of revolutionary tech about Pulse Chain. But there is that the cheap transaction fees. I mean, again, an average transaction on Pulse is 1 or 2 cents.
Yep.
So, and the more people that build on Pulse, again, the more that we have a successful chain. And so
Yeah.
we've seen that already. And you know, we didn't even have really first mover advantage in terms of the decks. There was already about 3 or 4 other dexes besides PulseX that built before us. And they raised millions of dollars through sacrifice. They've had VC backing. We didn't do any of that. We never had a sacrifice phase. We never had a pre-sale, and we were able to again move up at any given time. We're the number 2 to number 3 decks on all of Pulse Chain in terms of volume. So again,
Yeah.
we've really had some great success, and we have even more coming. So I don't know. I'm happy to go over more of the history, but I'd love to talk about what's next too.
Yeah. No, and I'm happy for you, man. Like I like to see people actually succeeding in the space and doing what they say that they're going to do. And you guys are out here doing it. I did want to touch on really quick. The Sparkler does have Spark PLS LP is like 76%. Can you just explain really quickly? I know you kind of briefly touched on it, just for people that don't know what Sparkler is and like what that actually means, because I think that's an integral part of your ecosystem. Very integral in my opinion. If you could just explain really quick, like even like a 30 to 60-second overview of exactly what Sparkler is and what it does, I'll share the screen and show everybody where it's at as well.
Amazing, brother. Yes, absolutely. I'm glad we went back to this because, as you said, it is absolutely integral to our success. So, the Sparkler is essentially a way to become an owner of the protocol. So, by doing so, you can choose to lock up your Spark. Again, it's just the token, single token Spark. You lock it up in Sparkler, and there is a bonus for the time that you lock it. So again, some of you may be familiar with Hex or other, staking type protocols. We use a lot of that inspiration, and longer pays better. So you can lock up to 10 years. And again, I know in crypto, that seems like an eternity, and it is. I mean, you're essentially
Yeah, it's an
burning.
eon.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You're essentially burning the token, which is incredibly powerful for the economics because we reduce our inflation, we reduce the supply. Um, but it's also really beneficial for you because even at that 76 APR, and that's an average. I mean, and we'll talk about that in a minute with real yield. But you're essentially able to ROI, say in a year, even at that volume, maybe a little bit more, again, 76%, a year and a few months. But and then the next 9 years, you have pure profit from the protocol paying you every day. And even some of the early stakers in Sparkler now, the vast majority of them have done a 10x if they were involved in day one. And even, based on the averages, we've seen about 10% a month return. So that 76% APR is a bit misleading because we have to have it calculated based on, past results rather than future results,
Yep.
because we don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. But the whole point is that it's much more healthy to take profit that way. And how Sparkler works is the fees from the protocol are generated. So say for instance we make $1,000 a day in fees. That those fees are then split. Half of them buy Spark off the market, and the other half buys PLS off the market, and then it creates Spark PLS LP. And this is really beneficial because not only does it increase our liquidity, again, adding more Spark PLS LP, but then it rewards you in that LP token that you can put in the farm. And so we call it the infinite money generator. Obviously, it's a bit tongue in cheek, but that way you're always able to have a way to earn more Spark. So again, you would put it right there in the Spark PLS farm. It would pay you the more Spark, and then you take the Spark and put that back into Sparkler and repeat. And again, we get
Boom.
yeah, boom, for sure, bro. And we always
Nuts.
encourage profit taking. I mean, I guess that's
Yeah.
another thing with the infinite money loop. Some criticism is, well, you're encouraging people to compound forever. Well, that's not the case. We encourage profit taking, and the really really cool part, because you're getting LP, you can break your LP, keep the pulse as profit, and do whatever you want with it, and never actually have to sell the native asset, which again is so revolutionary in terms of economics. And yeah, bro, we've been it's been the reason that the Spark token, again, if you pull up a chart, we've had very consistent, to the right movement instead of straight down like most reward tokens are.
Boom. We got the chart. We're gonna pull up the chart. Bam.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, man. So,
We've
we've
even
got
been going
obviously
up.
there's
Yeah,
always going to be these trending downs and whenever Bitcoin dumps, everything else dumps as well. But yeah, relatively smooth sailing, man. It's much better, especially since this has been out. I
for
believe
sure.
on this it's been out since at least December, and
Yep.
it is right where it basically launched at within a couple of cents. So that's
Yeah.
pretty decent in my opinion. Let me give people a brief high level overview. And you tell me if I'm correct on this. So essentially, because I like tokenomics, man, I like the tokenomics. I like to break that down. So essentially, what happens is whenever you come into the sparkler, you're burning your spark, right? It's gone forever, which reduces the supply. then you are essentially going and taking the fees that come in from the platform, all of the other stuff, farms, pools, whatever it may be, all the revenue that comes in, you're taking 50% of it going and buying, or the fees that are allocated to this, at least you're taking 50%, you're buying PLS, which Pulse, you're taking 50% buying Spark. You're creating this liquidity pool that now this liquidity pool has, like, I saw in Sparkler, I think it was like $1 million or something like that. Yeah, so almost $1.1 million in that liquidity pool. Then what those people, depending on whatever their lockup period is, they're earning off of the fees that are coming in and being generated off of that liquidity pool, and they're basically getting paid out in Spark and PLS, correct?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Again, the only other difference, just to clarify,
Mhm.
the actual yield comes from the protocol fees. And
Yep.
so even though we're making the LP, we don't farm our own LP because we don't
Got it.
want to dilute people. So you're paid out immediately as soon as we the contract again. It's all done through a smart contract. So as soon as it gets to a certain threshold, and it's randomized as well so people can't game, getting
Yeah.
in right before a big payout. But yeah, as soon as it triggers, it literally does all of this on market and rewards people in real time. And again, also the really cool metric, I think if you look at Sparkler, we've rewarded almost $700,000 in fees from day one. So again, man,
Correct. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
750
yeah,
almost.
yeah,
It's
man. The numbers
decent,
don't
man.
lie, brother. The numbers don't
Yep.
lie. So,
Yep,
and again, I
absolutely.
know that APR, 74%, again, in DeFi terms, it's respectable. It's not a degenerate APR, but
Mhm.
I can't stress enough that is actual real yield. So it has nothing to do with the inflation of Spark. It's simply the fees from the protocol. So as long as we have volume, that could pay out indefinitely. Other than some other 99% of other tokens
Yep.
that can't say that for sure.
100%, man. So and then I actually want to share the screen just to reiterate one of your points, and one of the points that I brought up at the very beginning,
For
which is
sure.
that they do have the TVL of over $6 million. So and then their market cap on their coin is already over 2.5 mil. That's pretty decent in my opinion. The one thing that I wanted to have you do really quick, AJ, before we get into the what's to come, right? Because we've talked about, like, previously and where you're at now and how that has kind of built. And if you guys want to see, seriously, like, this is the beauty of the internet, this is the beauty of blockchain. You can go and watch my previous AMA with AJ, and you can see I did the same stuff. I screen shared, I showed the APRs, all that stuff, and you can see where those are comparatively to where they are now, and you can verify all of this stuff, right? So, but one thing I wanted AJ to do, tell people before we get into the other stuff, the stuff that is to come, where they can find you other than on Sparkswap's website, right? Like, what are your socials, and all that type of stuff, like Twitters and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%, brother. So we're extremely active. Again, personally, I have my personal Twitter is Brockman underscore AJ. I try to be as active as I can, but as you know, Drew, there's a lot of balls in the air, brother. So the best way to follow us as a project is actually Telegram. So we do have a Discord and a Telegram.
Mhm.
Both are pretty active, but the Telegram is best. And that all the links you can find at the bottom of our website. Again, don't
Okay.
get fished at all from that.
Right.
But yeah, yeah,
100%, man.
but yeah,
100%.
that's the best way. And we have a YouTube channel. So again, Drew, I'm trying to learn from you, brother. We have a YouTube channel that's under the EMP protocol, but
Yep.
we still go over Spark, L1 Dex, all the stuff that we're doing with our other protocols as well. And that's underscore money, I think, for YouTube. And we do our own AMAs twice a week. So Mondays and Thursdays at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We do at least an hour update with our own community. There you go. Yep, that's it. We do our own updates, and again, Drew, I love what you just said about transparency. We pride ourselves on that, and so the the blockchain and the internet don't lie when it comes to numbers. And like you said, you can go back and look at all the previous AMAs for over 2 years. Again, we've done about 700 AMAs of our own, and you can verify everything that we're saying, and relive the journey with us for sure. Yeah.
100%. Great, man. So at EMP Money on YouTube, all right, at AJ_Brockman on Twitter, and go to the Sparkswap website and you will see all of the other socials as well. And feel free to go out, and if you guys have anything, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments section, because I'll be more than happy to relay them over to the team and relay them over to AJ, and he's always there to answer those questions. That is one thing that I can say. He's very open and available. AJ, let's tell them what's coming in the future, because we got like 5 minutes left. Let's give them some type of bullish sentiment. Let's give them a little spoiler, and yeah, let's get into it.
All right, brother. I'll try to keep it under 5. We may go a little bit over, but
No
yeah,
worries.
yeah. All right, bro. We have some killer stuff in the works. So again, Drew, I think they've been on the channel. I know that you're a fan. We've actually pretty much merged with the Dex Finance team,
Okay.
and they were around when we started about 2 years ago at EMP, and they've done an incredible job building out some really proprietary tech when it comes to Dexes. And so
Yep.
we partnered with them, and now again we're definitely in bed together now,
Right.
and we've been killing it, man. We expanded our dev team from about 5 to about 25. So yeah, we've been able to
Woo.
scale tremendously with them, and that's all part of the success of
And this is
continually adding.
dexfinance.com. Is that where you can find them at?
I believe so. If you pull it up, and
Okay.
maybe
Yeah, I
I
can
can
show
tell you
you.
if it's
I've
the
got it
right
pulled
one.
up.
Yeah,
I think it's on
yeah,
Arbitrum.
they're on Arbitrum, exactly.
Yeah, it's these
Yep.
guys. Yeah, I know exactly who you're
Yes.
talking about, man. That's
Yes.
really good news, AJ. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats on that, my man.
Thank you, brother. So, their CEO Jake, he's part of our core team now, and so with that, we are extending our they've been audited, the code,
Mhm.
everything, and this code is the Dex vaults. So we are actually migrating their tech over to Pulse. So now you'll have an auto compounder utilizing our LPs on Sparkswap. And what
Okay.
this is again, to put it as simple as I can, these vaults are very different than your typical auto compounders. So a lot of you might be familiar with Beefy Finance. They're the big dog that started auto compounding. But these take it a step further, and actually it's almost like a Beefy and a balancer pool had a baby. So you're able to have multiple LPs in in each vault. So with Beefy, you can only have one LP auto compounding. With our vaults, you're able to have up to 3 different LPs in the same vault. So not only are you getting rewards that are auto compounding back in to your assets, but then the LPs are rebalancing between themselves. So if
Wow.
one of the assets goes down in price, you automatically DCA into the lower priced asset. And if another asset goes up in price, it automatically sells into a lower priced asset. So you're essentially buying the bottom and selling the top while you're auto compounding rewards. So
I
this
like
is
it, man.
yeah, it's
That's like,
bullish
that's pretty, we'll say innovative. I've never
for
heard
sure.
anything like that.
For
You're
sure,
definitely
bro.
the first person I've ever
Yeah.
heard anything like that. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
so they've done an incredible job. Again, those vaults are already live on Arbitrum, and some other chains, BSC, I think Canto, and so
Dude, they've
we're
got
bringing it.
Base, they've got
Yeah,
Avalanche,
yeah,
Optimism, they've got all of it here, man. This is
exactly.
actually, honestly, I'm gonna share the screen and just I'm gonna do a really quick scroll, because
Yeah,
it's
for
it's
sure,
kind of
bro.
mind blowing. Like, look at how long it takes me to scroll on this. Like, this
Yeah,
is pretty nuts that you guys have this many Like, I'm still scrolling. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
bro, it's still going. Yeah, bro.
Dude, this
So
is
yeah.
nuts, bro.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
congrats on this,
yeah,
man. This is really cool, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like
Totally,
seeing
brother.
people build, bro, and I like
Yeah,
seeing people succeed. So,
yeah.
and
And yeah,
obviously, you know
yeah,
how I feel about it, but
yeah.
I've had you on the channel a couple of times for a reason because I actually think that you're a good person in this
Thank you,
space
Drew.
that people need to hear from, right?
Yeah, brother, that means a lot, brother. And again, man, mutual respect to you. I think exactly what you're doing with Wolfer. We're out here trying to do it right, and unfortunately, that's the vast minority of crypto devs for sure. So, but yeah, the
We
vaults, yeah,
call them dummy devs.
dummy
The ones
devs.
that rug everybody, we call them dummy devs. We've got the clown creators. We've got all types of names for these
I love
guys.
it, man.
We have fun with it.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. So again, man, the vaults should be live hopefully within the next few days. Again,
Are they going to be live
yeah,
on the Sparkswap site as well? So basically, you're
they
migrating them
will.
over to the Sparkswap site or
It,
Sparkswap site.
yes, brother. So we'll have a new tab that will only have Pulse specific vaults. And one
Okay.
last thing, a really cool feature is not only are you able to take profit in whatever asset you choose. So again, I mean, with an auto compounder, there is the risk that there's more selling pressure. But if you want to feed your sparkler, you can choose to take your profit in Spark itself. So, and between the increase in volume and the harvest fees, we feel like it will actually feed Sparkler, and we can see up to 3 times the amount of volume that we're getting right now, because every time that vault auto compounds, that is a transaction through our DEX. So again, man, it's super bullish, and we're hoping to overtake the number 2 spot permanently on Pulse as the DEX with the most volume. So again,
Yeah.
man, we have a lot coming. And one last thing, the
Yeah.
vaults are also compatible with Pulse X LP as well. So
Okay.
even if you weren't bullish on Spark, you can still utilize the vaults for your own LP that give you the ink rewards. But we're still getting all of the fees from doing that. So it's
Yeah.
still a net positive for Spark and SparkSwap.
100%, man. I like the fact that like kind of the business models like feed each other. That's integral. It's almost like you guys thought about it, right? It's almost
For
like you
sure, brother.
methodically built this, right? You
Yes,
didn't just fire from the hip and fork somebody else's code, slap a label, a name, and a logo on it. Weird, right?
100%,
It's
brother.
almost like people are
Weird.
innovating in the
Yeah,
space. It's
man.
odd,
Isn't that weird
It's
how that
really weird,
happens?
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great, dude. I like the fact that you're kind of feeding. I like how you said feed the sparkler, because that you can do that from the consumer level, but also the business feeds the other revenue streams in the business, which is integral. If you're going to build and scale a business, you want to make sure that all of your business models, your offerings, your services, your revenue streams are complementary, at least to a certain extent, to each other in separate sectors or markets, right? So I like that. I like that a lot.
Totally, brother. And that feeds right in perfectly as we wrap it up here. Our next AMA will be about EMP fusion. And EMP fusion is the next step at the EMP protocol. And literally, word for word, brother, what you just said, the whole point of building these other projects and products is to feed real revenue back into EMP fusion. And again, with that, it becomes way more sustainable. You don't have people dumping on your head because the token price is steady. So yeah, we don't have a date yet, but the next AMA will be about fusion. I can't wait to share that with everybody else. And like you said, brother, that is another project that we have built from the ground up.
Yep.
It's not a fork. It's completely new. Again, I don't want to give too much get into it now, but there's a lot of really unique mechanisms in EMP fusion that we are really excited to bring to market for sure.
Yeah. No more spoilers. We got to save it for the next AMA. So
For
pay
sure, bro.
attention for the next AMA that AJ is going to be on here. You'll see it. You'll see the thumbnail. You'll see the title. We'll try to make it go as crazy as possible to where it'll get recommended to you. But at the very least, if you're looking for people that are innovating in the space and you want to follow them, follow AJ, follow EMP Money. Go, you've got their socials. Go check them out. If you want to use Sparkler and Sparkswap, go check them out. You know where to go. We showed it to you. Everything's there. The link will be in the description for you guys as well. And obviously, if you want to make sure that you're here for the next AMA or just anything that it is that I do, because I'm dropping bombs all day, baby, make sure that you smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on the notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. If you have questions for AJ, drop them down there. We'll surely relay them to him. And with that, we will see you in the next AMA. Thanks a lot for showing up, AJ. We appreciate you, my man.
All right. Cheers, Drew. Much love. Later, guys.